Hello there, everyone. Welcome to the I Love Snow Para Real Talk. My name is Brian McKeever. I'm your host for this evening. I'm a former cross country skier with the Paralympic team from Canada, and we've got three great guests here tonight. We're coming to you live from Milano Cortina, and we have just finished day 2 of the cross country skiing events, and so far been pretty exciting. So it's been a warm Paralympics. I think we're getting used to that, having these in March every 4 years, and it's been holding up well, and the athletes been performing superbly. So we're very, very proud to be here and chatting with our three guests. So with that, I'd like to start us off. We've got Kendall Gretsch, and Kendall is from the USA. She's a sitting athlete in the LW 11.5 class. And Kendall, you're 33 years old, and this is, I believe, this is Paralympics number 3 for you. Is that right?
Yes, Winter Games, number 3.
Yeah. So Kendall, if you don't know her, is a triathlete, para triathlete as well, and para biathlete, and a para cross country skier. So 3 sports, 3 very different skills.
Yes.
I guess we could say 6 sports. When you've got triathlon, or 5 sports, we got triathlon in there.
Yeah.
But an endurance beast. And you and I have known each other quite a while. And I've been following your career and pretty thrilled to see you having success every time you're out there. So
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It's been a good week so far.
You might not know this, but I was in Paris on a coaching conference, and I got to watch you compete in the summer.
Oh, cool.
A real highlight for me. So
yeah, that's very fun.
So Kendall in 3rd games here, and a bronze medalist from today. So that was awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Catherine Marchand from Germany, 35 years old. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
And Catherine is a standing athlete in the LW9 class, and you started competing in 2025, I believe, in cross country. But you've got a long history of athletic achievements here. For anybody that doesn't know, Catherine is a 2-time Olympian in rowing, and also a Paralympian in rowing, and now a Paralympian in cross country skiing. So I think it's been exciting to watch you come up here too. And I remember Ralph working with you last year, your coach, and just seeing the progress you're making is super exciting. And Catherine was our sprint 4th place yesterday in the cross country. But just amazing to see you translate your past athletic performances into this new sport in winter, and seeing what you're able to achieve already.
Thanks.
So I want to talk a little bit about the emotions of the games, because we're sorry, do we have Christian today too? We were supposed to have Christian Westermeyer Riviera, and I'll just mention he can't quite join us here. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but Christian was our sprint silver medalist, and he's a sitting athlete in the LW 11 category, and he's from Brazil. And Christian won a very historic medal for Brazil. It's the first ever Brazilian Paralympic medal in cross country skiing. And as the current world champion, he was a favorite for a medal here, and absolutely delivered. So pretty thrilling to see a 23-year-old, I'm going to call him a kid as an old man and who's been around a long time, but a 23-year-old kid come here and perform like that. And, he's only 23, but he's been around for 3 Paralympic Games now, and watching him develop has been pretty exciting for me too. So, sorry we couldn't have him here, but for Catherine and Kendall, we'll talk about the emotions of what happens at games. It's not just another event, is it?
Yeah, definitely not. I think, sometimes the racing is the same, right? We're doing the same races, but there's so much around it that makes it not just another event. And it really, there are parts of it, I think, that are really special that you try to soak in and use that energy. Like, we have so many friends and family that are here, I think, kind of from all different countries, and which is pretty pretty atypical, not the normal for us. So it's really exciting to have the crowds here, and even just the energy in the village, everyone, wearing all their team gear and trading pins. And yeah, I think just trying to use that energy to help you through the races and really soak in the experience.
Absolutely. And it has a different feel, right? Like, we're used to competing on World Cups in small venues, and all of a sudden there's crowds and big banners and TV cameras everywhere, and it's different. And it makes you just want to rise up even more, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's also difficult because you get so much attention every 4 years for your sport, for your personality maybe. And it feels like you got this chance to get a medal every 4 years, and if you don't get it, it's like 4 years later, you don't know if you're still competing 4 years later. So it's you really need to calm down and just do what you can. But yeah, it's so different to normal world championships, I guess.
Absolutely. Once every 4 years is a long time, and we wait a long time to do that. So, Kendall, I think I just want to ask you. This is your first cross country medal, a bronze today in the 10 kilometer. It's your first cross country medal since your first games in Pyeongchang. Is that right?
Yeah, yep, that's true.
How does it feel to be back here on a cross country podium?
Yeah,
For all
I
that?
mean, honestly, I'm so excited. I didn't know if that was going to be possible this week. To be honest, I was kind of we started with the biathlon races, and looking at those, you could kind of break it down from the ski time and the shooting time, and I think I was getting by a little bit in those races with the shooting time. So yeah, I'm really excited. I think um, yeah, I think for a while, I feel like I'm known as a fast shooter, and so to be able to get a medal in cross country and prove that, like, I'm also a fast skier too is really special. And yeah, I'm really proud of this one today.
Yeah, absolutely, and you should be. You skied great out there, and in very tough conditions, and yeah, just a heck of a day. So, congrats on that, Catherine. For you too, you sprint yesterday, again on one of the harder courses we've seen in the Paralympics in quite a while. Your first games, and you come up with a fourth place. Now, I think we often talk about fourth being like the hardest spot to end up,
Yes, they are.
but I know you've got a lot of experience and a lot of history here with your Olympic experiences and your para rowing experiences, but talk to me about how that feels at this Winter Games as your first time. Is there still some disappointment with that, or is that also just like a massive achievement that to be here in your first experience?
Well, I would say that the fourth place is always a bit disappointing because you're the first who does not get a medal. And we took the fourth place in Paris as well with only 600ths of a second, which is like a margin on 2 kilometers. And now it's like yesterday it was 2 seconds, which is more time. But yeah, I felt like in the prologue I made the third place, so I hoped I can get a medal. But I did a good race, and the others, they are just faster. They have way more experience in these sprint days. There's so much more than just doing your best. It's like who takes which lane and where do you push, where don't you push, like going downhill as fast as you can. And I'm always like slowing down downhill. So I feel like I have a lot of things to learn. But taking the fourth place after 1 year of skiing is an amazing result, actually. I know this, but I'm still a bit disappointed. Yeah.
That's fair. I can understand that for sure, and I think it never gets any easier, no matter how many times we do that. And
Yeah.
but I was really excited to see you race and see that as well. So, congratulations! You've come a long
Thanks.
ways already. I actually have a question for each of you. Now, cross country wasn't your first sport. Um, how was the transition to come into something like cross country? Were you able to pull some of the lessons from the past from your past athletic careers?
Yeah, I guess for me, I would say, yeah, my background was in triathlon, and so they're both endurance sports. So I think that just kind of like, yeah, but I guess like the endurance base that I had and the strength that I had, that was really helpful. in cross country skiing and biathlon. But I think there's so many skills that you have to learn as a skier, and I can't even imagine for a standing skier, because like as a sit skier, we're just double pulling. That's kind of all you have. So there's not even technique to learn. But
Oh,
just
no, I beg to differ on that.
well, I mean, like learning how to maneuver and everything, I think is obviously the hardest part is the sit skier. Um, and that takes so much time just to learn how the snow is going to react in so many different situations, and or just like getting in and out of the tracks as a sit skier. So there's all of these skills that like you really just need time in the ski and on the snow in order to learn, and no matter how good of an athlete you are, like that stuff just takes time in order to learn and build. And yeah, and I think that's why it's so cool for me to be here now. um and just to compare it to my first experience in the games, and just knowing like I am such a better skier than I was then. Yeah, and it's just kind of crazy to think about how much I've learned in that time.
I would
Catherine?
say that Kelly took the right words. Like I started rowing in 2005, so 20 years ago, and like after competing at 3 games, I feel like I know how to be fast in rowing and how to train for being fast. But I learned that I cannot transfer all these things I learned. Like when you are rowing, you're doing like sessions about 90 minutes, just one level, just go straight. You have your own lane. And then I came to cross country skiing. The coaches told me, no, there are uphills, downhills. You have some turns. You have different techniques to use. And these are the points that made it so difficult to me to learn, even with my disability, to uh, think during the race. Like you cannot just have your own plan and go straight 2000 meters. You're just like, what are the others doing? Do I have a turn? Does it, like, is it uphill, downhill? How is the snow? Um, but I also would say that I like all the power and endurance I have from rowing. Of course, I can use it. Um, but I'm still learning the technique. Feel like
Yeah.
classic is going better because I can use all my power, but I'm also losing a lot of power. So skating is another skill that I'm still learning. Yeah.
I know I worked with a physiologist once that would come skiing with us, and she said, you know, I have all of my training zones, but I only have one speed because my efficiency goes down with my effort going up.
Same here.
And it is a highly technical sport, and I think there's lots of challenges in that. But
Yes.
you know, I know both of you have great coaches, and very excited to see what they will come up with for you to help keep helping you out. But yeah, I can definitely see the past athleticism transferring into this, and you know, once the technique comes, especially Catherine, you're going to be a force to be reckoned with in every race. Um, with that as well, with the multi-sport, multi-season pieces that you're both combining, what are the challenges to that? What are they? How do you manage two full competition seasons?
I would say you need a team behind yourself. So in rowing, I'm not doing rowing alone. So I have a pairs partner who's like waiting for me the winter and who's rowing the whole time alone. It would not work if I didn't know that he's waiting for me, and we are still back in the boat together in March. So you need to talk about it very much because if you don't plan your schedule, you would be like burnout after one season. Because competing in winter and in summer, you don't have that much time to rest, to sit down and just like think about all these things that are happening. But it also makes it a lot of so much more like exciting because you're like seeing the world, you're getting to know so much more people and get to know different things, which is so much fun, I would say. And I really love what I'm doing, so I would never do only one sport because I hate winter training for rowing, and I also don't like roller skiing. um, I would say if you're good in one sport, you can add another one, but you should have one basic sport that you're already good at. So otherwise it wouldn't work.
Absolutely. How about you, Kendall?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, kind of like the biggest philosophy that I've always taken since doing both sports is like whatever season I'm in, that's my main focus. And I think when I first started, I was trying to do kind of everything all year long. And yeah, I feel like it would lead to burning out, and then also just being not very good at like anything at a given time. Um, and so, yeah, really just trying to focus and say like, okay, this is the winter season. So everything that I'm doing is in order to be a better skier. And what do I need? What training do I need to do to be a better skier? And vice versa in the summer. Like I'm solely focused on what I need to do to be the best triathlete. So that's kind of been my biggest like takeaway there, or kind of how I think about balancing the two different sports.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think, we talk about, I was only a one sport guy my whole life, cross country being a thing, but I think we also combine a lot of training modes. And, I would love going out mountain biking, and Catherine, I actually loved roller skiing. But yeah, like there's complementary skills there too that I think I'm sure you're seeing that you can have the crossover in those. So, uh, and then final question for you too is, just on when we talk about Paralympics, and it's been around for now a long time, but para cross country skiing, the first time I took note of it was in 1988. So I was 8 years old. The Olympics came to Calgary, my hometown, and I didn't know this at the time, but the Paralympics didn't used to be in the same venues. So now they're combined. Here we are in Milano Cortina. We have both games happening a couple weeks apart. For those of you at home that didn't know this, but prior to, and I'm probably going to mess this up, but I think it was around '92. That the Paralympics used to be in a separate place altogether. And so it was in Sweden in 1988, and there was a blind woman from Canmore that won medals there. And she's now friends of mine and friends of my parents. And that was the first time I took note of what the Paralympics were. And she and I have talked about this quite a bit, of the differences over the years. And I'm curious what your experience has been with the evolution of the Paralympic Games in your careers, or from the time that maybe you'd heard about it. What have you noticed? What's different in terms of, let's say, depth of fields, the equipment changes, and anything else that you might think about?
Yeah, I guess I would say I mean, like in the grand scheme of things, right? I feel like I've been a part of it for a short amount of time. And even in that amount of time, the growth that I've seen has been huge. I think the first time I kind of knew what the Paralympics were, it was actually, I was in London, and I was there during 2012 during the games. And so I was actually there during the Olympics, but they were advertising for the Paralympics. And so then I was like, oh my gosh, I need to figure out what this is, and try to get involved and like see if that's something that I could compete in. I had no idea. But yeah, since then, I just think it's grown so much. The media coverage and the TV coverage has been, I think, increasing and getting bigger and bigger every single games. And I think that's so exciting to see, just this fan base grow around parasport, and just the number of people. Like, I think you hear a lot of people in parasport now that didn't know about it when they were growing up, even if they were growing up with a disability. Um, and I hope that that's not the case anymore. Like, I think that's a common story, and I hope that's not a story anymore. And I hope that everyone knows what the Paralympics are, and know that it's an option for them to be able to compete as an athlete.
Catherine?
I would say the same, that parasport is growing and it's getting so much more professional. When I see the force we have, para athletes are training a lot. They are not training less than Olympic athletes, and the results are really like getting better and better. I feel like a lot of para athletes could compete in the Olympic like area, maybe not at the like better than other athletes who have no disability. And I feel like this is so nice because well, I had no contact to parasports before my stroke, but maybe I had no contact because it was not present in my life or in the media. I did not hear a lot about parasport. So now, also because I try to like bring parasports to my surrounding, my friends, my colleagues, and etc. And they are all like, well, I didn't know that you could be a para athlete because you're standing, you're walking, you look like you have no disability, and they all think like you have to be in a wheelchair. And this is like the common thinking about people from people who don't know parasports. And so now it's like getting so much more present, which feels great because parasport is such a nice thing to look at.
I totally agree, and I think there's a bit of a joke that the disability community is one of the few minority groups that you could join at any time, and it's so present in our countries, in our lives. And I think somebody once told me once, like, what is because we're talking about, let's say, disability is normal, and it becomes a part of us, and it becomes part of our identity, but it's also something that I think we eventually accept, and it becomes this thing that it makes us part of who we are. And from the people that I've always met within this parasport community are very good people, and I think if that's making them part of who they are as good people, then that's not a bad thing either. So I think when we look at disability, and it's normal in our worlds, but what is normal? It's the thing we see every day. And I think it's thanks to athletes like yourselves that this is getting out, and FIS pushing this, and International Paralympic Committee pushing this, that media is picking up on it. It's bringing it into people's homes, and it's showing not just kids with disabilities that there is this path forward, but also just the normalcy of this into people's houses. And the more people realize that what we're doing is normal, then the less they're going to see our disabilities, and the more they just see us as people. And I think that's important.
Yeah, I think that's an important point of, yeah, hopefully, eventually the Paralympics, everyone's watching it and just appreciating the athleticism of it. And yeah, it's kind of less of, I guess, the typical like inspiring story and those types of things. And it's just like, wow, these are really amazing athletes competing. And like, I'm a sports fan and I want to watch this because it's exciting sports.
Yeah, we just do what we want to do, and it's not like, oh, we have a disability, so what can I do with my life because my life is broken or something. It's like I have opportunities because of my disability, and you have always the choice of
nothing beats
thinking about good things or bad things. And I feel like if something is happening, you should always choose like looking good at it and seeing how much you can get out of it.
That's awesome. I appreciate the messaging that you're bringing here. I think I'm really excited with the results that you've brought already, and I, as a coach now of a Canadian team.
Yeah, congratulations for today. I'm sorry I passed out. I was like, this is what I'm learning in skiing. Like you have these uphills and these downhills, and maybe I should have walked uphill and not like running uphill today because these conditions I did not practice at all. And I was so exhausted in the third round. So it was not, I had no choice because my body I was like falling down because my circulation left me. And I know how to fight. But today was a day I could not fight because I had no choice. I'm happy for Canada, but I feel like I'm sad for myself.
Catherine, I would say that you know how to fight, and you fought right to that point, and you're able to take yourself to a very difficult place that most of us try not to get to because it hurts.
It did hurt.
I know both of you are very good at living in that pain cave and fighting through things. And I'm really excited for the last couple of cross country events here and the biathlon events as well. And I'm really looking forward to cheering you on from the sidelines. I think
Even when I'm competing against Canada.
You betcha. I think.
I will listen to
I'm
you.
going to tell you something. My first World Cup was in Notchrai, and one of your coaches, Uli Zippel. He was a guide of Frank Hoofley, who was the best in the world at the time. And I showed up, young kid, and I finished second to them, and I had no guide. And they were the ones that came to me and said, if you had a guide today, you might have won. So you need to get a guide. And at that point, I didn't understand why another nation would help me out. But the more I competed in this sport, the more I realized that what they were trying to achieve was not to be beaten or any of that. They wanted to have competition. They wanted this to be a team field, and they wanted to be able to win when there's lots of other good people to then know what the level was. And we're trying to create better sport, not just winning our classes, but just having the Paralympics grow and having better sport. And that you're all doing a great job of that just by showing up and competing and training the way you do. And I hope the people at home can see just how great of an athlete each of you is, and the whole field. I agree the depth is going up, visibility is going up, and we're in a place that this could grow in a big way if we can do the work. So, I thank you both for continuing to be great ambassadors for people with disabilities, athletes around the world, and for your respective countries and our sport. So thanks for being here, and I wish you the best of luck for the rest of the games, and can't wait to, like I say, be on the sidelines cheering.
I will listen to you.
Thank you.
On Sunday.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
And that